The US government just bailed out OpenAI because OpenAI is running out of money. It seems like we're at the final stage of the AI bubble, and the AI bubble is about to completely collapse. And since OpenAI is literally the face of AI industry, if OpenAI is struggling financially, then what do you think is happening to the rest of the industry?
I kind of think of ads as like a last resort for us for a business model. I would do it if it meant that was the only way to get everybody in the world like access to great services. But if we can find something that doesn't do that, I'd prefer that.
He literally said last year that ads are going to be the last resort. And if we are going to introduce them, that means that we're completely desperate. And guess what? OpenAI has already started testing ads. But most importantly, they even started introducing adult content. Like, how desperate you have to be to do something like that. But that's just part of the problem. The second part of the problem is that they have just signed a deal with the US government after the United States has ditched Anthropic, because they know that this is how they ensure that the US government is going to bail them out.
At some level, when something gets sufficiently huge, whether or not they are on paper, the federal government is kind of the insurer of last resort, as we've seen in various financial crises and insurance companies screwing things up. So I guess, given the magnitude of what I expect AI economic impact to look like, I do think the government ends up as like the insurer of last resort.
Sam Altman knew since the beginning that this is turning into a bubble, and just like the US government has bailed out the US banking and the insurance industry, the US government will be bailing out the entire AI industry. Now, in the early 2000s, the US government has loosened regulations for people to get mortgages, so banks started offering mortgages. But banks are not stupid. They know that this can turn into a bubble. So before selling a mortgage, or for every mortgage that they have sold, they have insured it. Insurance companies were confident that house prices are never going to collapse. So they basically sold an insurance for every single mortgage. Worst case scenario, that house will be sold even at a small loss, but that is not going to lead to a catastrophic crash in housing prices. So banks were confident, they began loaning and giving mortgages to whoever wanted a mortgage. People started buying one house, second house, third house, fourth house. At some point, people have purchased houses that they cannot possibly afford, and they began defaulting. Now, the banking sector didn't care much because they knew that every single mortgage is being insured. So when house prices began collapsing, the banking sector went to the insurance companies and told them, we have purchased insurances and now you have to pay us. But then insurance companies realized that we have sold far more insurances that we can possibly afford, which is why the entire insurance industry went down, and then that burden was on the shoulders of the banking industry. And they knew that they don't have enough money to bail themselves out, which is why the housing bubble turned into a banking crisis. Now that happened because the entire market has spent so much money on houses that house prices were inflated more than they worth. Now it doesn't mean that house prices will never rise to that point. But when you spend so much money on a single asset and you create artificial demand, there is going to be a spike in prices in the short run. But because investors want a return on their money, and if you are an early investor and you realize that now the price of your investment has doubled or tripled in such a short period of time, you start pulling off. And that means that prices will start crashing, taking down the entire market. So the US government had to step in and bail out the entire insurance industry and the entire banking sector. And now Sam Altman is basically comparing the AI bubble to the housing bubble and saying that, well, if the US government bailed out the housing market, why can't the government bail out the entire AI industry? And that is what he's counting on, and it seems like that is exactly what is happening. You see, AI, or ChatGPT in particular, has a huge problem. For every dollar of revenue that they're earning, they're spending about $7.7. So by looking at this, you can already see that the math is not adding up. The question is that when exactly the company is going to break even, and nobody knows. It might be 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Now, last year they made almost $20 billion. but they spent far more than that. And according to every estimate that we have, most likely OpenAI in the best case scenario is going to break even by 2029, maybe 2030. And if investors start pulling out, then all those hundreds of billions of dollars in investments will pop like a bubble and it could take down the entire market. OpenAI has about 900 million users, but the vast majority of people who are using OpenAI are not actually paying anything. 95% of users are free users. And that's why despite so many users of ChatGPT is not making money or whatsoever. And if they turn the entire model into a subscription, then people are simply going to start using alternative services, and that might be the end of ChatGPT, which is why the company is forced to offer these services completely for free, even though that they're losing massive amounts of money. The only companies that can afford that are companies such as Google. Google is the real competitor. Google last year made over $400 billion in revenue and over $100 billion in profit. So they can keep burning money, dominating and monopolizing the entire AI industry. But ChatGPT on the other side has no other option. Now you might say, look at OpenAI. They have just raised $110 billion. They are not desperate, but there is a problem with that $110 billion investment deal. Now, first of all, $50 billion of that is going to come from Amazon. And Amazon is not going to give them $50 billion directly, but rather $15 billion is going to be upfront, and the other $35 billion, there are going to be contingencies. That means that when OpenAI is going to hit certain milestones, then they're going to get the money from Amazon. And one of the contingencies is that OpenAI should go public. Now, going public is extremely dangerous. That's because now you cannot be like a private company. Now you have to share your financial statements. Now you have to share your data with the rest of the public. And if you're not going to hit your revenue targets, Wall Street and investors will start massively dumping up your stock and your stock will be obliterated. So if you're not going to receive or achieve the milestones, you're not going to get $35 billion from Amazon. Part of the deal is that OpenAI should spend $100 billion buying computer powers from Amazon Web Services. So Amazon is like spending $50 billion investing in OpenAI and taking a share in the business. And OpenAI has to spend $100 billion buying computer power from Amazon. It seems like a deal that you're only going to sign unless you're desperate. Another $30 billion is coming from NVIDIA. And that is also a really great deal for NVIDIA because there is also a contingency that most of that money will be spent buying computer chips from NVIDIA. So basically, NVIDIA is going to give OpenAI $30 billion so that OpenAI will use that money buying computer chips from NVIDIA. A really great deal for NVIDIA, if you ask me. It is going to increase the revenues for the company, driving higher their valuations. And because there is so much demand for NVIDIA computer chips, they are going to pay huge margins on them. And finally, the last $30 billion is going to come from SoftBank, and that will probably make SoftBank the largest single investor in OpenAI by owning 13% of the company. And because they are so desperate, they made a deal with the devil, with the Department of War, with the US government. Now, Anthropic was basically the company that was supplying the Department of War with AI services. But there was a huge problem between the Department of War and Anthropic, because the Department of War basically asked Anthropic to use AI services to mass domestically surveil the entire United States. And that means that your data will be used to survey you. The US government is going to use the entire AI models to basically survey the entire country. But Anthropic said, no, that is not going to happen. That is unethical. That goes against our values. The second thing that Department of War has asked is to use AI for fully autonomous weapons. And the CEO of Anthropic is like, listen, AI is great, but it's not 100% accurate. If you have used AI, you know that it's not always accurate. So how is it possible for us to use AI to fully have autonomous weapons and for them to choose targets. That is unethical. There must always be a human intervention. It must be moderated by a human in the first place until we reach to a point where we can entirely delegate that to AI. The Department of War basically said, no, that is not happening. So they canceled their contract with Anthropic. They literally, you can say, like blacklisted that company. They canceled every single contract with them. And they even labeled them as a company that not a single government agency can work with them. And here we go. OpenAI jumps in and says to the US government, we are ready to do anything you ask us to do as long as you're going to give us the money. Now, they have signed a very small deal. It's worth about $200 million. So it's not going to be a huge revenue boost for OpenAI. But OpenAI understands that since the US government now will be relying on OpenAI, the US government cannot possibly let the company to go down. Because if they go down, there is so much classified information, there is so much reliance on the US government. And if there is something that the US government doesn't care at all, it is the money. There is $1 trillion budget on the hands of the Pentagon. And the US government can always raise money from taxes. Which is why if something is going to go wrong, OpenAI knows for a fact that the US government, by signing this deal with them, is going to bail out OpenAI. The AI bubble is already popping. Look at the top largest AI companies. All of them are down. Microsoft is down by about 25%. Oracle is down by over 50%. If OpenAI was a publicly traded company, its stock would be down probably by at least 50%. And this is a great opportunity to start buying these stocks. We're basically in late 1990s, or I would say early 2000s, when the bubble is popping and giving us an opportunity to buy these stocks at a huge discount. Because 5 to 10 years later, these are the companies that will dominate the world. And if you want to know what are the top 5 AI stocks that you should be buying right now, then check out the Investing Academy. The link is going to be in the description of this video.